Mac and Meeka Love. I'm gonna do Grace. Oh. That's you. We love you, Grace. Yo, thanks for coming out. No, it's always good to see everybody come out and support. How was your week, Mac?
My week was pretty good. We have to pass the mic back and forth this week. We normally have our own, but my week is good. Started back dance class on Monday. Are you gonna join us?
You know, I do love dance class, but it's always like by the time by the time I get back in the house at 7, I get my kids dinner and stuff like that. I will sit down and be like, yo, I don't want to get up. It's 8:30. I don't want to get up again and change. So that's really what happens with dance, yeah.
But you didn't answer the question. I said it sounds like a no.
No, I know. It's like I should have been able to come this week, but this week she had a friend in town, so all the days we were going out to visit her in Margarita.
So what about Monday?
You know, that sounds like a plan. It sounds like a plan.
Because I like how she danced around the question. She didn't really get to it. She danced around it. So yeah, that I had danced. I seen Shalonda this week. Went and got a facial. Had a few meetings. I'm doing something called Operation Prime. I got a cystic fibrosis kick CF kickball game next Saturday. Tomorrow I'm hosting a fight party at Bar Idol. And then I took tennis lessons, and I went to see Miss Betty Wright at Bible study yesterday. So that pretty much sums up my week.
You know what? One thing we forgot to do is take a toast.
Oh, yeah.
Toast with our toast. Shout out to Toast Vodka. We love them.
Yeah.
Gluten-free, non-GMO, and made with coconut water. It's healthy. Healthy vodka, guys. Ow. and you know, vodka's already low carb, so that's really great. But I lied. I thought that the girl was here. She was already here, but we didn't see her Monday. My dog slipped his disc. So I was yeah. I didn't know what was going on with him. I thought he had a stroke. I didn't know he was limping. Yeah, and then I had to take him back on Monday for the x-rays or something. When did he get the x-rays? It was Sunday? Okay, so yeah, he had the x-rays on Sunday. And I didn't know what to do with him on Monday because they were like, he can't walk. You got to put him in a crate, but I didn't have a crate yet. And I was like,
I know something was wrong with him.
Yo, my boy. First of all, Henny be on everybody, right? Henny just out of the blue came out of the back room and he was limping, and then so I'm shaking and I just started crying like, oh my God, is he having a stroke? I didn't know what to do. I was just happy that London was not there. She was with Jay and his daughter, so I was like, thank God London's not there. So I called Jay and I was like, listen, take me off speaker. We're going to the emergency room with Henny. Make sure it's whatever. Because the doctor scared me when I called. And I said, what is this? She was like, just bring him in for vitals. We're really booked, but bring him in for vitals. If it ain't good, we're going to admit him. But if it is, he could go home. And then that's when she was like, I don't have time for the x-rays. Which I didn't know dogs get x-rays. So that's why I sent you that. I said, dogs get x-rays? This is really insane. But she said, we don't have time for the x-rays. But come back tomorrow morning, but my suspicion is that he slipped the disc jumping and doing crazy. Does he jump on and off couches? And I was like, yeah, he's not supposed to, but he does. When he sees me coming, he jumps off like, oh shit, she coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, here she comes. But that was tough because we had to hold him for a while until the steroids that she gave him kicked in, and then he wouldn't feel any pain. He couldn't do steps. It was crazy. So that was rough. But you know, and I broke my phone. That was the other bad thing this week. So I had no numbers. I was like, nobody loves me because nobody's texting me. Nobody's calling me. Jay hit me up. So I was like, thank God. I need to get home. I didn't even know where I was at. I couldn't use my GPS. I was fucked up. I was in Miami Gardens, but I didn't know what to do.
Did you crash the screen or something? What, you crack the screen?
The whole screen cracked down the middle, but I couldn't see anything. I couldn't touch the screen. It wouldn't work. So when I'm sitting in my car trying to figure something out, oh my gosh, how am I going to call somebody? Do I just drive? Do they even have payphones anymore? Who do I ask somebody in the street? Will they let me use their phone? He happened to call me and I was in the car, so it rang on the Bluetooth. So I was like, yes, accept that shit. So so that worked. But other than that, it was a wrap for me. But yeah, I mean, I got a new phone, so I'm all good. And yeah, so I got a new phone. I'm all good. But the biggest thing that happened to me this week, and I need you guys' advice on, is my oldest daughter is 16. And, you know, now she's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? Kids go through their stuff. You know, they're into boys now, things like that. You know, whatever. But when we lived in New York, she grew up with a girl. So the girl's her age. She went to school with her. And I was just following the girl because I was following the girl like when she was younger. You know, I was following her and her mom or whatever. So I know the mother is also on Instagram, but I don't know if they're following each other. But yesterday, a post popped up, and I now have my phone back. So I'm like looking like, oh, whoa. But I guess I didn't pay attention before because when I scrolled back in her timeline, she's been getting crazy, but just not every single day. But like it's been sporadic craziness. I mean, like half nude pictures, like twerking, like smoking, like wilding, like hotels pictures, like wilding, right? So I was like, I don't even speak to the mom. So, but as a mom, I would want to know and want to like shut that shit down. Mm-hmm. But I don't even talk to the mom. Like, do I mind my business? But she was, and the reason why it bothered me is because my kids have always gone to like really, really great schools, and sadly they're only one of a few black kids, and this was one of the other black families that was at the school. This little girl has so much potential, you know what I'm saying? And to see that this is what she's doing now that she's in high school, I was like, damn, like it's like kind of fucked up. But I mean, I would love somebody to tell me. I mean, I'm a disciplinarian. I would fuck my kid up.
Were you close with them all?
I mean, I was cool with them out there, but I haven't spoken to them since I moved, so it's kind of like, how can I reach out now? I know I would want to know, so I could shut that down real quick. I mean, it's internet. Like, people screenshot that stuff. They could send it off. They could do whatever. Yo, wait, time out. This is not even the private page. This is like the regular page. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. And I'm not sure if she's like a couple months older or a couple months younger, but my daughter's 16 and they're the same year of school, so I know that they're the same age group or whatever. And it's just like, if I'm not that cool with mom, do I say something like, would you want to know? I mean, you're a mom, Jamila. Like, tell me. Yeah. So you want to know if you haven't heard from a parent in a while, but you know that they mean.
Tell me.
I think it's the way you tell them now. It's the way you say. It's the way you go about it, though.
Check to see if the parents are the friends on the friends of the Instagram page.
But just like me, if the mother is following, I could check that. You're right. Maybe she didn't see it like that. Maybe she's not on like that because I don't really see her posting ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I don't want to mind somebody else's business.
Well, how do you say it to somebody? Like, what would be the approach? Like,
yeah, back.
I'd be like, hey, I just seen I don't know her name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say her name.
I
don't think she watches and stuff.
Okay,
I
wouldn't be calling and saying like I'm judging. I would just be calling and saying like, I didn't know if you were aware like some things is going on, but it's just how you deliver it, and you just don't want to make it seem like you're judging somebody as a child.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't seem judgy. I'm more concerned. I'm definitely more concerned, and I'm almost mad at the kid too because it's like you embarrassing your mom because I know the mother and father, right? And
or suggest that she makes her page private or something. Say, hey, I see
twerk for just your friends.
Because if she has to accept those people, you know what I mean? So some people, their page, that's why a lot of people page is private, so everybody can't just come on her page and view things they want to do like that. We have a friend who has a good job and she keeps her page private because of stuff like that.
I mean, but the difference, and I agree with that. I know who he's talking about. Her page is super funny too, so off camera, I'm going to tell y'all to follow her. She's great. But the difference between those two, because I thought about that too, the difference is she's more than old enough to make her decisions and to like liquor, to like smoking if she wants to smoke, to like partying if she wants to party, to twerk if she wants to twerk. I mean, this young lady's older than us and we're 40, so this young lady is older than us. So she could do what she wants to do. If she wants to hide that from her work friends because she has a great job, I can understand that, right? But this kid has to be Naya's age. I mean, to be, like I said, I'm talking about drinking in the hotel with a boy and naked, like This bitch is like naked.
I do not know that.
I'm telling you.
If it's all that, then
And I'm like, yo, I'm talking about.
you ain't say all that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say it like the crazy thing about it is I felt bad. Wait, the crazy thing about it is I didn't know what to do, and then I asked the worst person to ask, my cousin Jermaine, right there, and over some drinks, right? I asked him, and I was scared to show him because I'm like, is this like child porn? Because she's young. I didn't want to. She wasn't naked in the picture, but it was what's the word? It was a bad picture. I didn't want to show even though her body was covered, it was just a bad video. So I was like, oh my God. But I know I would want to know. That's why I was like,
if she doing all that's going on, then
it is. And I was
you was kind of making it like PG, like she.
No, it ain't PG.
All right, she's twerking. But damn, you in the hotel drinking with boys and all that.
It's definitely rated. Jay said it's rated X, guys.
So you got to just open to the public.
The scenario which we're talking about is like, let's just say, because you have to involve your child to make the statement, because it would be from you seeing the page. You're not seeing the page yourself.
Well, I saw it now. I saw it.
Yeah, but for you to see it is from someone else. So that means you would have to throw that person under the bus to kind of throw it out there.
Well, I'm following them now, so I could throw myself under the bus. So I don't care. I just wouldn't even include them. But I definitely am. I was torn because I'm telling you, it was getting crazy.
Now, if you seen something like that,
when I scrolled back,
if it look crazy, you should already know. Like, come on. They out there in the hotel, they drinking, having sex, and they're 16. Like, come on, man.
And I was scrolling back, and I was like, yo.
That's not even a debate, to discuss. Like, you need to let her mom know, like, you're doing it way out here, page way open. Like, you know who can go. You know, you be on People Explore page with all that stuff. Like, random people who ain't even follow her can see that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I would say something.
All right, good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Tell me, my daughter out there like that, and you just saw me in school once or twice. Tell me.
Go outside her head too.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I know I'm a disciplinarian. I'm fuck my kid up.
With the parent knows already.
But okay, so that's what we okay. So that's what Jay said to me when you forgot to mention that. Jay was like, she probably the mom probably knows because you said she follows. So I said I don't know if she's on there like that though, because I don't see the mom on there like that.
Mama definitely, even if another parent say something to her about it, she'll make the daughter clean it up though.
Right. But what if it's like me? Everybody that's nervous to say something because they don't want to be in your business. But that's what I'm saying. What if nobody said nothing yet? That's what.
But just believe, there's a bunch of people already in your business. They just talking about you and they ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna be the person to say something.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because you concerned and you care.
Yeah. Right. Like, y'all daughters used to hang out with each other.
Yeah. What if your daughter was doing something?
Well, definitely. That's why I said. That's why I said that. But that's what I said. I would want somebody to tell me. I don't know if everybody would want to know. That's why I said that.
Tell me.
All right, we have a pop-up guest that's outside. They can only stay for 30 minutes, but they want to pop up here real quick.
Well, this is perfect because we just finished our week. So we're going to take this break. This break is brought to you by Toast Vodka. Toast to good life.
Back to the Meeka Live podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and we have the legendary Uncle Luke. We got the legendary Uncle Luke in the building with us tonight.
Thank you.
For sure.
Pop up.
No, definitely is. Good pop up. I haven't had a little gift for him. I don't even know if he still drinks this or not. But the first time I ever hung out with Luke, he was drinking Bacardi Limon. So I don't know if he's still drinking or not, but first time I ever out with him, that was his drink of choice.
That's still my drink of choice. I don't cheat on the drink. It's good to be here, man. I'll be checking y'all out on the live feed. See Mac and the young lady here. I'll be trying to figure out what y'all doing, where y'all at. Now I do know where y'all at. All right.
He went to Studio 183 just now and thought we was there because it looks the same, the same way. But yeah, thanks for coming. And while we got you here, I think I want to talk about like a lot of different subjects that you're a part of. For one, we can start off by saying that you're the person who pioneered the whole explicit lyrics, and is the reason why these people can speak freely on records. And you went over to the Supreme Court, and basically had to fight for these artists' rights. And I feel like a lot of these young artists need to be reminded of that. The reason they can speak so freely on records is because of this man right here.
Broward Courthouse. They trying to stick it to.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, we went to the Supreme Court, won. That's a very difficult thing. I still ain't never meet a person that went to the Supreme Court other than my lawyer. But that's what it's all about, fighting for whatever you believe in. If you believe in the music, believe that if I don't fight, then at the end of the day, you wouldn't be able to hear what you're hearing on records right now, because it really wasn't. It was more about hip hop. The fight was about that, because back then, hip hop was getting into the white neighborhoods, into the white households, and a lot of parents didn't like that, and they were just trying to figure out a way to stop it. And if they were able to stop us from saying what we were saying on the records, then I already know you wouldn't have been able to. It'd have set precedent. It'd have set precedent. It'd have been on the books as a law that you can't say the certain things that Lil Wayne and Jeezy and everybody, Too Short, you name it, are saying on the records right now. So that's what the fight was all about.
Especially the ladies.
And you won, the ladies too, the way they talking. And you won and allowed everybody to, that passed to be able to speak. And I feel like that time era, a lot of artists kind of were a little more political. You had Public Enemy, like with Fight the Power. You had like a lot of people who stood their grounds. Even when the time when Kid and Play, Salt and Pepper, everybody protested the Grammys because it wasn't, I don't think, any African Americans or in the hip hop category or anything like that. And I just feel like a lot of artists back then had like a lot of more knowledge politically, and they stood together.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was all about. I mean, for years, the Grammys didn't recognize any artist. How the Grammys work, what people need to know is, there is a committee similar to what you have right in this room, and from people from different genres of music, whether they're engineers, producers, sax players, drummers, sax players, whatever it is, and they go into a room, and then they actually vote on, whatever record it is that has already been nominated, and then they, come to the conclusion that record, is worthy enough to get a Grammy. But for so many years, hip hop has never been put in that situation. They'll just come up with a winner based on what you have, based on whatever the industry is saying. So, we fought for that. They weren't recognizing it for years, and it's still a fight. But I have a tendency of working with the Grammys a lot. And trying to do certain things, for them to recognize hip hop as well as, recognize the music in schools. We go, every now and then I'll go up to not Tallahassee, but the capital, of the United States, and then we'll go and try and get bills passed with the Grammys on behalf of the kids and schools with music is concerned.
Not only did you do that for the Grammys, but also this year, Super Bowl was in Miami, and I seen that you fought to make sure you had Miami represented well in the Super Bowl, and I seen you come up a few times, and you ended up having a discussion with Jay-Z to make sure certain people are implemented to represent the city of Miami well as well. So a lot of people appreciated that, and we did too. We spoke on it a few times here on the show.
Yeah, I mean, that was a thing, I spoke out on it because, I was looking at, just like everybody else, looking at Thursday Night Football, and they made the announcement that it was J-Lo and I think Shakira, and they, some of the words that they said, I didn't too much appreciate, because I think, and I explained this to Jay-Z, I thought their comments were just down the lines of Miami being one type of nationality, Hispanic Hispanic, and they did not recognize any African Americans that live here. And then on top of it, I just felt like there was a super A-list artist where they could just not, just not recognize a guy like Flo Rida, which I made my comments, when you got Flo Rida that sold more records than any one of those young ladies. I thought that he should have been on the stage included. And I thought Pitbull should have been included. So, they made, a compromise, by having Pitt and Khaled do the pregame show and some other events. And I just explained to Jay-Z that, in Miami, it's a struggle, whether it's in the schools, whether it's construction, contracting, we have a struggle. We fight every day with Latin Builders Associations and Hispanic people. We love them, but at the same time, they're there to protect their own, and we're here to try and protect and get the right things for our kids as well.
So I see you are kind of big on, I feel like sharing knowledge with people. I also see that, on Instagram, you talk about the whole agency as far as like these athletes getting agents. I know your wife is an agent. She represents Devontae Freeman as well and a few other people. But I see that you are spreading knowledge, which is needed, because I feel like a lot of kids and a lot of their family don't know any better. So they're like kind of going to a situation blind. So you speak a lot of knowledge on your social media platform. And what would you recommend to these guys who are getting ready for the combine and getting ready for the draft now?
Just like I say, I try to use my social media platform to give people knowledge. Just like I say, with my wife being an agent, and she's unlike any other agent. She don't have a runner. She don't run after players. She don't run up in the bars and the strip clubs, and she ain't giving out no cars, and she ain't giving out no diamond rings to put kids in debt automatically, and she's not giving any faulty contracts to lock them up or get power of attorney of their funds. So she runs like a boutique operation, come as you are. And what I try to do in learning some of the things that she go through and some of the kids that she work with, young men, is that it's very important that these parents know that, just like you know better than all of us, an NFL contract is one standard contract. The addendums is what gets most of the players. And a lot of the players, which people don't really realize is that, a lot of agents treat them like, it's not like girls, but they treat them, put a person in a position, you're giving, and then you expect to have sex. You're giving, and that man loves you because you're giving. He don't necessarily love you because he constantly giving you something. He giving you, taking you shopping, getting you cars, buying you nice bags. That's the same thing that they do with these college football players, and then they feel kind of loyal to them. But at the end of the day, I always try to tell kids, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing for free, especially no stranger. They want something in it, and they have already put a value on you to determine how much they're gonna spend on you. So if it's like a pimp on the street, if you know a certain person is gonna make a certain amount of money, then they're gonna put a certain amount of money in that person. Exactly, no different than a car. If you get an antique car, and that antique car, you fix it up and put some original parts on there, it's gonna be worth $100,000. But if it's not, then they're gonna only put $10,000 in it. And so that's what they do with these young men in college. They prey on single parent household African American mothers who don't, they'll look and they'll profile them, they'll look at the education background of these parents, and they'll go into those households, and unfortunately a lot of parents have a tendency of thinking the white man is the savior, and he goes into the house and he takes advantage of that young man, and put him in a predicament where at the end of the day, they control the power of attorney of their money, they control their lifestyle, they put them automatically in debt, and so I just try to give kids knowledge that you don't really need that, because if you Brian McKinney, you don't even need an agent nowadays. Back in the days when BK came out, it was a negotiation. Right now, if you're the 99th pick last year, and you're the 99th pick this year, you can get 10% raise. So you really don't even need an agent. An agent ain't gonna make you run 4-3. If God made you a 4-3, you're gonna run 4-3. Yeah. You know, so they tell you all these beautiful things, and I try to educate these parents. You know, what is it? 3 or 4 months after you finish college that you get drafted. Yeah. So hold off for a few months. You don't need to get in debt. You don't need to. Yeah, you get in debt, and that's what they want you in. Now you can't get out of the contract.
I really respected Melo. I can talk about the mic, I think. Kind of loud. I had respected Melo. At one point, I was kind of confused back in the days. He and Speedy had the same agent, right? He was a great guy, black guy, and that's what we loved about him, right? But I was like, man, why you gonna leave him? You know, there's so few of them out there. You gonna leave him and whatever. But he basically was saying the same thing. He was like, I already know I'm gonna get the money. They coming looking for me. I'm gonna make my friend do this. I'm gonna put people in positions to win, and then I'm gonna have a lawyer look over my contracts and things like that. So, I mean, it's basically the same thing, saying like that. You know, he saw it when a lot of people didn't see it as a young man. So I was like, dang. When I realized what he was doing, I was like, okay, you're right. They are gonna come for you. Those contracts are gonna come regardless.
Yeah, they're gonna come. I mean, and that's the most important thing. Regardless of whoever you use as an agent, let somebody look at the contract. Everything is negotiable, and it's hard. I mean, I've set up with my wife in some rooms myself and just fly on the wall, and the agents sit there and they tell them no, don't look at the contract. This the same thing. They'll get another player that's in the league and say, did you sign that? Yeah, I signed that. Did you let somebody look at it? No, you don't have to. We all signed it. And the ones that's smart enough, then at the end of the day, you know, they'll make the decision not to get caught up in that same situation. But I mean, just like we was talking before, just take a kid like Devontae Freeman, who my wife represents. You know, it's more of educating him. She constantly educates him on his investments. You make your own decisions. You know what I'm saying? You don't, you live off of, like right now today, this kid never used a signing bonus. He never used any money from his game check at any time.
No, like endorsement.
All he lived off is endorsements. And one thing we did, we sat down with him and said, you know, how many kids your mom have? Say 5 kids. Have your mom ever made over $50,000 a year in her lifetime? He said, no, she never made over $50,000. She was more so, you know, living in government houses. I said, but she was able to take care of 5 kids. She was able to feed 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? So how much money do you really need to live off yourself? You know what I'm saying? And then you make sound investments. And I mean, this kid is, you know, what he's done with himself and his finances, he's very smart, very strategic, and you know the things that she does with him is like out of this world. You know, I tell him, look, treat him like an entertainer. Don't, you know, because football is entertainment. You know, Brian McKinney out there, he's a brand. You know, the NFL used that brand for their benefit, but you need to use your brand for your benefit. You know, and so he understands that. So he don't do you'll see him in a football game. He's not in there with the regular Nike or Adidas cleats on, even though they're licensed NFL apparel. You know, they did this kid a deal with. We did him a deal with Reebok. You know, it was more like a lifestyle deal. You know, and so Reebok paid him probably $800,000, where the average player is getting about $25,000. You know what I'm saying? Okay, lifestyle. Treat him like no different than a basketball player. And I tell them all the time, just keep your helmet off, because the NFL audience is much larger than any audience in the world. So they know your face, because everybody name on the back of the jersey, Johnson, Brown, McKenzie, and all these names here, but and that helmet and that logo, and you know for a fact that if you bring any notoriety to yourself, you take a sock down, they're gonna find you. So you know, but just take that helmet off and let the people know your face.
You know, it was that's a lot of knowledge, but it was harder back then, because if you did anything outside of what they wanted you to do, they would say, we don't know how focused he is, or like if you're doing anything else that is becoming successful, as well as you're still being accountable and you're still doing your job, then it feels like he has these outside things, and not just in football, but other sports. Period. I watched Venus and Serena have to go through it when they started doing interior decorating and clothes. They're like, they lose one match. Well, we don't know how focused they are because they have all these outside things going on. It's like they never allow you to. They don't want you really to expand your brand too much. They just want you to just kind of be under their umbrella. But people are now getting to the point where they get it, and they're taking steps to expand their brand. I mean, Ojo Cinco was really one of the people I feel like from the beginning who I feel like he was one of the main people who kind of just stepped out and started doing like little character things and like became a character in football, you know? Like you had other people who were like characters, but he really made it like entertainment. Clinton Portis was doing it a little as well, but like Ocho Cinco made it entertainment. And then from there, it allowed other people to like kind of step in and evolve even more. Mm-hmm. But I guess people have to also, when they're in that system, you have to kind of not be nervous of what they think. And as long as you're doing your job, doing your part, they can't really say nothing to you because you're doing your job. But stepping out there and just kind of like allowing the light to be on you a little bit, which they probably don't like because they can't get off of anything. Yeah, can't get anything off of it. So, but I mean, I feel like it's a good thing, especially in sports. You have a small window, and you still have the rest of your life to live. Yeah. So you want to make the most of it while you can.
Yeah, that's really important. You know, just like you say, you know, the life expectancy of the average football player is 3 to 4 years. Yeah. You know, guys like yourself that go over 3 or 4 years, you know, it's a great thing, and that's why, you know, I always tell these young guys, you know, whether they're with my wife or not, you know, look, model yourself after the guys before you. Mm-hmm. Respect the guys before you. You know, you'll end up in a better place. You know, mm-hmm. I'll send kids to talk to BK. I'll send kids to talk to EJ. I'll send them to talk to different guys who've been in the league because you cannot. That experience, mm-hmm. you can't get away from that. I mean, you got just the mere fact of, you know, it's a culture shock of those kids in a room with a bunch of grown men that's looking at them like they're getting ready to take food off their table, mm-hmm. and most of those grown men are in there, you know, on their last leg. You know, I remember one day he called me up from the locker room. He was like, Coach, you know, Coach, these guys in here pawning their jewelry to me, mm-hmm. you know, which was amazing to me. You know, I kind of figured some of those things. It was like, well, here's a learning lesson. So how did they get in that predicament? Coach, they're in the club every night. Coach, they got these girls coming in every day, and Coach, they're doing a whole lot of other things that they shouldn't be doing other than focusing on football. So, you know, he you know, a culture shock for him and the other guys, and say, hey man, just do the right thing because, you know, just learn from whatever past experiences, you know, and come back like, now his whole thing is, and most of the guys we work with, their whole thing is, we talk about game checks, mm-hmm. you know, using your money to make a game check, you know, and not crazy investments, but investment in God. Mm-hmm. God don't make land. Mm-hmm. He don't make no more land no more. Yeah. So if you invest in that, you know, look, you know, property, you always make another game check, and so they'll put the money into situations where, you know, companies like Safeway is getting ready to build in the African American neighborhood. You know, they want a partnership, you know, with African American. Obviously, the NFL player has a lot of money as well as other prominent people, but they love partnering with athletes. Athlete purchase the land, and then when they purchase the land, they put the Safeway on the land, and now Safeway is paying that young man the money. And so, you know, he does a whole bunch of deals like that. You know, and a lot of the young men do a lot of deals like that. You know, we try and tell them, get yourself involved in sound investments where it can, at the same time, you know, you're making a game check every week, and you don't necessarily have to use the game check because you're using your money to make it. Mm-hmm.
He's definitely blessed to have you and your wife, like, in his.
Oh, for sure. Because a lot of those agents aren't really trying to educate you; they're just trying to get you to stay healthy and do what you need to do to play in those games to get you to the next contract, so they can renegotiate your second contract, which normally bigger. and that's pretty much it.
A lot of people don't realize, like, the more you educate someone on smart or sound, like you said, sound investments, the more money you can make together, because then they'll make better decisions and they'll do better investments with you. So I don't know.
Right, and I just feel like you're building a relationship. So I feel like even being an agent to player is like you still want to build a relationship, because then I can still get you more business because I can refer people to you. Because I feel like you done right by me, so I want other people to come and work with you and
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, even if you're not playing anymore, let's say you get cut, whatever the case may be, you'll be like telling all your boys that you know out of UM or wherever, or wherever you came from, and tell everybody, like, you gotta rock with them, like, you have to. Like,
it's the same way in the music business.
Because I'm not playing anymore. I'm making more money than I was when I was playing because of all the investments that they helped me, you know. So.
Right. It's no different than the music business. You know, like, you know, the music is all entertainment. And just like Max said, the window is very, very short. You know, the window closed, and when it closed, you better be prepared. You know, you better be prepared.
sometimes you don't know when it's gonna close.
Yeah, exactly.
Does she only focus on football players, or does she just
yeah, she does. Football.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of, you know, help
that's
her
y'all
do
thing.
that.
I know.
Well, no,
Lou's
the coach.
Like that's why I know it's y'all thing out here, and I know you. That's why he calls him coach. I get.
Yeah.
But so that's what you know a lot of those guys. So that's why I was wondering. Like, I know you know those guys, so that's like the first hand people that you get. But like, she definitely works with any sport.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I probably coached myself personally in the last 5 drafts. I probably coached a kid that was either drafted first or second round, and she don't even represent. Won't even have a conversation.
Wow.
He's been coaching for a while. I don't know what year that was. I had sponsored like the award ceremony for y'all. At Pear Jungle, and that was like my early years in the draft.
Yeah, that's when Freeman was.
So Devontae Freeman playing now. He was probably one of the kids.
Yeah.
As y'all would say, he was a jit.
Legit. That was like around 2003 or 4, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was there, and they were kids, but now they're grown, they're in the league. But I remember that.
It happens. It happens really, really quick. You know, you'll see these kids. Like, I mean, at my youth program, we celebrating our 30th year. We probably
Congratulations.
Thank you. We
Probably.
I mean, at our park, we probably no other park in the country that probably has as many NFL players. You know, like you had Chad Johnson come out of there, Antonio Bryant, the G5.
Oh yeah,
Antonio came out of the program. Friedman, Duke Johnson, Darryl Sharpton, Devontae Davis. You know, we probably have maybe 100, 200 NFL players to come out of the program. So it's really, really rich. Yeah, kid who just was drafted first round last year, DeAndre Baker. So it's, you know, they come out of the program. And,
speaks for itself.
Yeah, and so we try and, you know, the ones who, you know, again, you go through the program, if I coach you, I'm never the one that's going to say, hey, you need to come over here.
Yeah.
Because that's obvious. Most people will automatically think that's what I coach for. I don't coach for her. You know, they know her, you know, because when the kids are little, like Friedman and Duke and all the rest of them, they're in the backyard jumping in the pool. You know, they're hanging out. So they know her. Like, she's auntie and I'm uncle to all of them. So, you know, it's their choice whether or not they want to use auntie to work with. 99.1% of the time, they'll go hire somebody and they'll get screwed around and they'll try to come back to auntie, and auntie, you know, auntie is motherfucker. Like, you know.
Is she petty? Is she petty? Is she gonna be like,
oh, she's hard.
Stay over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna go work with get yourself out of the situation, but 99.1% of the time, they're stuck in those contracts that they signed on for. But like I said, it's no different than the entertainment business. You know, the entertainment business, you gotta, you know, like a kid like Pitbull, when I discovered him, You know, I told him.
I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but I knew that
He,
too.
listen, I'm learning a lot of stuff today.
Listen, first time I heard Trick Daddy was on Scar record.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
That was Trick's first. That was Trick. When I ate his food first. I'll say that. me and the prisoners in jail when he was incarcerated, because he was a big time cook in jail.
Wow.
Oh,
Most people don't know that. So when I helped get him out of jail, he actually stayed with me. And every morning he would get up and cook these meals. I'm like, no, it's just me and you. Why are you cooking all this food? You know, little did I know when I left the house, he had all the girls from Johnson & Wales College at the condo. He had a party going on.
Feeding them more than grits.
But the good part about it, I mean, him, you think about him and Pitt, you know, because I always talk about business, life after the entertainment, use the entertainment as a stepping stone to what you're really trying to do, you know, and both of those young men and all the other ones that we kind of work with, you know, that's what they focus on. Like, use this as a platform, use the stage as a platform the way you're trying to go at, but understand, when you're on the stage, be on the stage. When you're off the stage, be off the stage. So don't walk around, you know, because we got to buy all kind of stuff to get on stage and look pretty for everybody. Like, you know, but then when we're off, you see me like this.
But yeah, but some people feel like even when they're not on the stage, they still gotta look like they're on the stage doing the regular. Like,
exactly.
Or is that society that makes them feel like that, or what is that? Because I don't know what it's about. Because it even goes back to like.
I don't know if society's telling them they gotta feel like that, but they think that that's what society.
But even like, for example, that we covered that young jock incident when he was driving the ride share thing. Like, he's like, I'm just a hustle to make money. But like, that's how he's looking at it. But when I say society, I feel like not the entertainers feel like that, but I feel like they're pressured by the audience that they always have to be on point. They always have to look away. They, like, you know what I mean? Like, the minute they don't, or gain a little weight, a little different, it's like, oh, they falling off. It's like they expect you to look the same exact way when you came in. 20, 30 years later, it's like, it's not possible.
So it's so crazy because Mac and I met partying, right? And we bonded through that. But what I think developed our friendship more and more was the fact that we both were in the sports industry, different industries, but we both like had a passion for athletes doing more outside of that sport, like building their brand or building themselves outside of just being a basketball player, being a football player, and just like doing more. I really hate when, I remember telling a lot of people, a lot of wives, and you know, a lot of wives at the time, their husband would be like the franchise player, right? And you know, I'm like, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like, you don't know. Right. You guys need to build something, do something. Oh, we good. And then they got divorced before me, like, you know, or something like that. So many things happen, and they don't want to. They think it's gonna be forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I have a soft spot when I see somebody doing something, not necessarily. You know, I'm just having a business or whatever, but somebody trying to really build something outside of whatever they normally do. So a hockey player, football player, basketball player that's saying, you know, like LeBron, he's starting the schools. I was like, I got something going on.
Yeah, when you look at it, just like you say, when you look at, I always tell players, what's an old player? You know, what's an old player? I say that's why I love the fact that I stopped playing football. And it just became an entertainment because I could be running around like Mick Jagger for a long time, you know, getting checks, you know. But I tell them, I say, you know, another educational tool that I use with them to say, how old was Kobe when he retired? And I'm like, Kobe played what? How many years? 18, 19 years. I said, and I tell him, how old was Kobe when he retired? He said, 40-something? No, he was 37 years old when he retired. 35 when he retired. So when he retired at 35, that's still young. I say, so now you gotta get so in the NFL 9 times 10, what are you? When you're old, what you about
30?
30?
They consider old as 30.
They consider old as 30. Yeah. So then now you got to live another 30 more years not on the same income. So all them cars and everything, you gotta downsize. So you gotta prepare for the long haul. So I explained that to them, and I'm like, haul them out. I'm old. So at the same time, you gotta get. So are you gonna be able? You're not gonna make the same check 30 years from now that you make it when you get 30. When you get 30, you're gonna be done. If God allows you to get there, and so now you're gonna have to be able to humble yourself to change your lifestyle. To be able to maintain at the same time the family. Everybody got to humble themselves, and friends got to humble themselves. And at the end of the day, you can control the narrative as to where you're trying to go at.
Absolutely, you've been sharing a lot of good knowledge, especially in the sports side. Like I said, he's been coaching for how many years has it been? Is it 30?
No, my program is
30
years, and I've been coaching for 17.
17, okay. That's a long time.
I know, right?
And been an entertainer at the same time.
Yeah.
So another thing that I know, I did my Uncle Luke history, is you started off as a radio DJ here. Was it 99 Jams?
Yes.
Okay, 99 Jams. So tell us, how'd you go from being a radio DJ to becoming Uncle Luke and part of Two Live Crew and everything like that? Like, how was that transition? And should we expect like a story eventually? Because like I see everybody else with these biopics, and I kind of want to see yours.
I don't think it could be on Lifetime. You can do it.
HBO.
That should be on BET, man. Or VH1. Showtime, Stars. It'll be on anything cable, but.
I started, just like you said, I started as a DJ, local DJ, doing parties at African Square Park on 62nd, Banner Park, we had two speakers, and then we built it up to 4 speakers, 8 speakers. We would do dances at Carroll City Senior High, Alabama Junior High, and then we found the Pac Jam skating rink on 199, started doing parties there, making more money. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always heard about it.
That's what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going from there to, I kind of created the name.
Okay.
I'm from the Pac-Man machine because as a kid, I had a Pac-Man machine that was in my mom's little wash house. Okay. And I don't know where I stole it from, but then I would make the kids come in and put the money in the machine, and I made money like that. So then I had to, jam. But then at the end of the day, from DJing, I went from DJing to then doing big parties, where we would bring down hip hop artists like Mantronics and Jazzy J and Run DMC and all these, Tila Rock, Fresh Prince. So I would bring them down to come down here and perform when pretty much nobody else was bringing them down. And from New York and Philly and.
You're one of my favorite rappers, Biggie too. So
yeah,
you and him were 2 people parties I always wanted to go to, like in '95, '96. Yeah. And I seen y'all had linked up because you was in the One More Chance video. I said, damn, I wish I was there.
They could have just waited a couple more years, right? To get out of high school.
Yeah, all them guys, all them was my dudes. I mean, Big, Pop, all them. We actually brought Big down when he first came to Miami, and he played at the Pac Jam team disco.
Okay.
He was like, I'm not gonna go unless you come go with me, because at the Pac Jam, for people that know, you would get booed. You automatically gonna get booed.
Miami's still a tough crowd.
Yes, it's tough.
So is this like the New York Apollo? Is that
like that's what we used to call it. New York. I mean, they would like look at you, and if they don't want to hear all the other songs. They did not want you. Don't play the album cuts. Yeah. Just get to the song and get the hell off the stage. And so, I mean, going from there, DJing to promoting concerts, and that's when I ended up interning at the radio station. So, only reason I was doing that was because I was, back then it was carts. It wasn't computerized. I would get to play my own commercial as many times as I wanted.
You smart.
Yeah, the DJ would be in the back.
So you was like the Diddy of the South. You had like a little,
strategy going.
Yeah, the girl
You
did.
knew the talent. You picked
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
talent, yeah.
Yeah, I made sure the DJ had a girl occupying his time in the back. And I'd be running the board, you know, putting my commercial in every 5 minutes.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, I just went from there, and then that's when I brought Two Live Crew down.
Okay.
You know, and most of the artists that would come down, I would bring down, they would complain that they're not getting paid. So once I brought them down, they was complaining, and I ended up not wanting to be in the music business. I wanted to be more of a promoter than anything. And I ended up, long story short, you know, doing a record with them and putting it out.
Speaking of that, you know, you were at many a Freaknik. What do you think of them bringing it back? Is it gonna be the same? Because I don't think so.
Well, actually, I did the first Freaknik, which was last year. I performed at it. The promoters, in my opinion, was a little janky.
Yeah.
You know, they just wanted to capitalize off the name and the brand of it, and they knowing that I was one of the main people, a part of Freaknik. When it became a party, other than just a Greek party, you know, they just, you know, again, just used it. It could be Freaknik again, but you gotta know the history of it all. You know, once you know the history, you gotta lean on the history. I mean, it was a Greek party. You know, every Greek group would go out into the big park, set up their tents, and chill for the whole weekend. Then it became music artists performing at the Greek party. And so that's what you gotta kind of bring back. They're just using the name to capitalize off of it, make it money.
I figured it was something like that. So I'm glad to hear it.
And then I know another group that you, I believe that you brought out was H-Town, right? Did you know that? Knocking the Boots, yeah.
Yeah, that was my shit.
Yeah, so Luke also discovered them as well.
Listen.
Yeah. So you got a good ear. You got a good ear for music town. How did you discover H-Town?
Well, that's an interesting story. You know, I'm always, you know, travel around the country, and Lorenzo White, it was, you know, played football for Houston Oilers at the time. And, you know, that's my friend. White kept asking me, hey, man, I got this group of guys, they keep bugging me about linking up with you, you know, in Houston. So I did a concert in Houston, and then I just stayed over one day, and Lil White introduced me to the guys, and then I ended up meeting them. You know, their name was the Jits at first. Yeah, the Jits. And I was like, I don't like this name. and you know, they started singing, you know, but the interesting part about where they took me, the meet them was in the projects. And so I went in their house, you know, just like any other house, they got cans holding up the couch, no food, another one staying in another house in the neighborhood. It was more of let me help these young men, because I just thought that the man upstairs put me in a situation to be able to help these guys. So I actually didn't even sign them up until after I just went and bought them my house. I just said, let me buy y'all a house.
So what's the good Lord telling you about me and Matt? How you gonna help me? I'm serious, but I'm joking.
So it was like, okay, buy my house, buy my furniture, buy them all this, and then we'll talk about records. Because they weren't hot. It just was a group of guys, and then I brought them down to Miami. It was crazy. Yeah, they came down and they got on the plane, first time in their life, came to Miami, and they stayed at my house. And then one of the guys was like, I was like, where are their bags? They had no bags, they had no clothes.
Stop.
And then the guys were like, man, you gotta see this. And they brought one of the shoes. And the shoes had a hole in the bottom of the shoe. I was like, take them to the mall and get them some clothes. And so they went to the mall, and at the end of the day, we just went in, and they then went into the studio. We came up with all these songs. I say, well, most people know us They don't know us for being an R&B label. We put out different types of music. But at the end of the day, we just said, all right, you know, we're gonna make them the Luke version of R&B. You know, so, and that's what, yeah, we was in the studio, it was like, you know, talking, and then, you know, one of the little brother was like, yeah, man, them girls knock that boots, knock that boots. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? And they was like, knocking the boots means, you know, have a
Say
sex.
that one of your pool parties or something?
Yeah, so we just switched the whole song and say, do that song. Now, you know, I was like, no, we're going to do that. Good Love and Bonnie Rocket knocking the boots all night long. So then they were fighting me. Everybody was fighting me. No, that can't be the single. That can't be the single. We got these other songs here. I'm like, no, that's the single. And then we ended up putting that out, and the rest was history.
Max, right? You definitely need a story because like these are things.
Yeah, that I don't think everybody's aware of.
And not even that, it's just great stories. Because even if we didn't know who H-Town was, just hearing the story behind you finding a group. Let's not say we knew who they were, but you going to meet them and saying, well, I just want to help them. Like that's dope.
Yeah, that is absolutely. You have any questions? Meeka?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I know the program has had. Let's go back to football now. I know the program has had a lot of players coming out of it already. But do you see more for the program? What do you see? Because I know already it's there, I guess, because you've had so many players now going to the NFL.
And it's easier to get like a lot more players now too.
What else can you see happening? For like how much bigger can the program get?
Well, I mean, the program is right now. The program on steroids.
Exactly.
Because you know we did a docu-series with LeBron James. What else on Stars?
It's on Stars. I saw it. I'm gonna
still see it. And then we did.
It's still on there.
I saw that too.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I was like, is this good?
Yeah. So we did. You know, I kind of did that joint venture with him, and we did another documentary on the program. Before that, there was a book on the program that we own this game because so many kids in the program are so rich. You know, it's really, you know, I just started opening up, let the media and the public get into the program to get the gist of what we do. I always kept it high, you know, I'm not like, you know, I love Snoop to death. I love what he does. But I never, you know, put the program, say, okay, this is the program and this is what we're doing for photo ops and anything like that. I never did that. So I kind of like, the people in the program kept pushing, saying people need to hear this story. It'll help other people or inspire other people in different places to want to, you know, have programs similar to this. And so, you know, we, like right now, we have aftercare program where we have probably a couple hundred kids, 300 kids now in the aftercare program with a waiting list of another 100. The athletic program consists of football, basketball, baseball, soccer. We do not let our kids play football year round. We refuse to do that. Like right now, they're in baseball and they're in basketball and soccer. Then after that season is over with, when it's time for football, then they'll play football. We had a tutoring program, you know, where we pay teachers to come in to tutor the kids, and we just do everything for those kids. We take them to places they've never been because it's almost like me. You know, I kid lived in Liberty City all my life until I got shipped to D.C. because I was a thug. You know, my mom wanted to get me out of here because she was like, oh, you're either going to die or go to jail. And then I saw black people doing things. And so I always want to introduce our kids to different places. So we take them all over the country, fly them to L.A., we get on the plane, get off, we take them to, you know, Atlanta, we take them to...
Yeah, basically show them that it's more to their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like a lot of kids don't leave their neighborhood, so they think that's it, but...
Yeah, because I mean, until they sent me to D.C., my mom was like, yeah, we're going to Hollywood. I thought we was going out of town. I was packing mine, and we talking about Hollywood, Florida. Like, we going to Hollywood? Oh, yeah, we going out of town. You know, it's like, you know, so I know the impact of that.
I definitely understand where you're coming from because coming from New York, you know, doctors are white, whatever, you know, now, of course, there are a lot of black doctors, black lawyers or whatever, but growing up, my pediatrician was white Jewish, and whatever. But when we lived in Atlanta, and I had my second daughter there, she was born there, but I had a daughter there, one at the time, and I was like, I loved it. I made sure my pediatrician was a black woman. I made sure that pediatrician was a black woman. I made sure everybody that we get, I just wanted them to see black women doing things. Yeah. And I was able to do that in those cities. So
and that's very, very important. That's why when that's very important because, I was asked a question. I did a show on NFL Network with a group of other NFL players, and we were talking about systemic racism. And I was, some of the guys took a knee, and some of the guys didn't. But then I asked the guys who did take a knee. I asked each one of them, "Do you have a black lawyer? Do you have a black agent? Do you have a black realtor? Do you have a black financial advisor?" And not one of them could tell me that they had a black person. Well, it's about getting the best. Oh, so black people ain't the best. Exactly. You can't sort after that. I said, well, this little lady that I sleep with every night, she reset the market. When running backs had never got a raise in 3 years, the last time it was Shady, they got a big contract. All these top agents representing all these other running backs. She with Friedman, she reset the market. You know what I'm saying? So there are black agents out there that can do a better job than these guys right here. But it goes back to just like you said, more so than anything, we all live for our kids. We all want our kids to go to college. We all want our kids to come back. Exactly. So now, what happens when, and I posed this question to them. I said, what, you got daughters, what happens when your daughter and your son go to college and they come back and they be a lawyer? Who's going to walk in them doors? Ain't no white people going to walk in the doors. You're going to be dependent on African Americans to walk into those doors to then, for her to be a representative of them. Who's going to walk in the doors if she's a dentist? You're going to need black clientele. What if she decides she want to own a restaurant? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? She want to be in business for whatever it is. So you're actually, at the end of the day, you're taking a knee. You're taking a knee saying you're fighting against systemic racism, but in all actuality, it's systemic. You're performing systemic racism on your own people. Because you ain't working with nobody. You telling them, y'all treating us a different kind of way. Y'all profiling us. Well, you, the NFL player, you're profiling your own people.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we just have this. I'm not gonna say the player's name, but we've had this before, and I think that the sad thing is that Mac and I, we support people, especially our people. We always support their businesses, their whatever. I mean, I buy from people just to buy from people. I don't even need it. I don't want your book. I don't need your book. Right. I'm buying it just to buy it, because I want to just show support, right? And I feel like the support is never reciprocated. That's just first of all. And I mean, we've had a player say certain things like, "Oh, they're waiting for us to, be on ESPN, for lack of a better term." You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of foul. I was like, come on, man. You first of all, you're supposed to be a friend, so you're supposed to support from the ground level. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, I definitely see where we all do that, and that's why I've never been like that. And I gotta shout out my cousin, because this is a black female corporate lawyer right here that is working for one of the biggest law firms in Houston. She's here visiting. She's here for a conference. She came to come support a black podcast. So you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I love my daughters to see, and I love when she comes to town, she's around. You know what I mean? I want them to see that. My mom used to work for a corporate law firm, for example. All white. We have people that look like us now doing these things. So because I see that you are very much like Mac and myself, I can understand why you didn't want to put the kids at the forefront and thinking maybe you're exploiting them when you're not. But I can see that because your heart is genuine. You're doing it because you want to see them win. You're doing it because you know that you can get them to another level without. And you don't want anything. We always say that we don't want nothing from you. We good. We're good. Yeah. We don't want anything from you. We're gonna put you in a position where we don't want anything. But sometimes it'd be nice when people reciprocate and want to help you out and things like that. But with that said, I'm glad you did decide to put it at the forefront, and because Doc was dope. But I would love to see more. Like, everybody loves to see more. I think a lot of people would love to see these other stories and know all the influence you had on a lot of other groups and a lot of people. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I could go back when I talk about H-Town. Like, I know these people. And it's like, damn, you found them. You did all this or whatever. Like, I'm telling you, I think somebody call 50, man. He got some deals with stars, right? You don't even need him, but you don't need him. But, see, look, Lionsgate, here we come. But no, I definitely want to thank you for coming out. I know you said you had to go in 30 minutes, and we kept you. I see he kept looking at his phone. I was like, Mac, if you don't stop asking questions, I'm gonna milk this one last question. No, but we appreciate you coming by. Like, of course, Mac already knows you, but me getting to see the person you are, I've always known who you are. Like I said when you came, I said, can I get a hug from a Miami legend? Like, I meant that, but to know that you are just a totally different person from what I think Uncle Luke, the superstar, that's not you want. Yeah, you are a star, but that's not you in here. And I mean, that's dope. It's dope. Yeah. So I'm glad that everybody here got to see that. I'm glad the live, before we cut them off so they can watch the rest of it on YouTube. But yeah, so thank you very much for coming out. And we can't wait to see what all Lionsgate has in store for you. Right. Because I know I'm going to be watching. I'm be like, oh, where he did that? Okay. Nah, for real. So we won't hold you up anymore. We're going to let you go. We're going to take an intermission. This intermission is sponsored by Repent, the best hangover cure on the market. Nano vitamins. Let's go. Let's go. DJ L Blaze.
We were serious a minute ago because I was getting a lot of good information from Uncle Luke. I'm glad he stopped by and I was able to talk to him. We, want to cover sports and trending topics real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it because we spent more time than we expected with Luke. Because he gave us 30 minutes. We took an hour. Yeah. So I definitely wanted to keep going and just kind of make everybody aware of the things that he's doing. And it's not just booty shaking girls all over the place. He actually does a lot for the community and gives back. And like he said, he doesn't really tell people, or he wasn't at a certain point. So now I'm glad it's kind of being out there more, and how his wife and himself are trying to help educate these young guys, going to the next level in sports. Well, and speaking of sports, toast. All right, let's take a toast first.
We've been forgetting to start our segment.
Because they drink. Because I drink it and they paying us for it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how our commercials are going.
All right.
Because they pay us.
But
we like it too.
We enjoy it. Yes. I drink mine with no chaser. Just ice.
But let's talk about All Star, man. All-Star.
Let's definitely talk about All Star.
I love Jennifer Hudson's tribute.
I did too. We can share the mic too, because I don't feel like I'm hogging the mic.
I'm talking extra loud, right?
You know I have a big mouth anyway. But no, yeah, I hate all the. I hate all the. But no, Jennifer Hudson's tribute was dope as hell. Like I really enjoyed it. I love the pictures. I loved everything.
Her tribute was dope. But all right, with All-Star Weekend, with the national anthem, why is it becoming a thing now 2 years in a row with the people was joking on Shaka Khan this year, the year before with Fergie. It's like, what's going on with the national anthem though? Why we can't get this right?
So what was your thoughts about it? I didn't care either way. I didn't have a problem with it. I heard it. We didn't care. I was actually at your house, I think, too, and I was leaving because I don't really watch the game itself. But yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything bad.
Like, and I woke up to
I don't know. No, they just seemed like a sheep or something. Then here goes the remix, God. And then it was like a whole remix behind her national anthem.
You have a face on. What do you think?
And
I didn't watch it.
But they did a whole remix to her national anthem like they did Fergie. And I'm just like, you know, Shaka Khan was the perfect person. She's from Chicago, so that's the perfect person to have, you know.
We have a comment. It was okay?
I think she held a couple of notes too long.
Apparently, I feel like that's what everybody feel like. And then that's what
she was great, though. I love Shaka Khan.
Yeah, she did better than Fergie.
Yeah, of course.
I love Shaka Khan. I was happy when
Shaka
I
Khan,
saw
Shaka
her.
Khan, Shaka Khan.
I was like, damn, she looks amazing.
She does.
She great.
Why does she look like Nicki Minaj's mom?
Yeah. She does.
She does.
She definitely does. But
ain't that crazy?
Good, man. Her skin look good. Yeah. She
So
like she was from Belize, yo. Right? Because them Belize women, they skin be so good. I'm like, damn, yo.
I feel like a lot of island women's skin be good.
Like, all my aunties, they in their 80s and 90s, and I'm like, damn, y'all skin like y'all don't even look like y'all that age. So
yeah.
No, she looks great though. And then I mean, but there was still a lot of there's still, of course, you can't have an event without a little drama circulating. And you know, Aaron.
Oh yeah.
The dunk contest. How did you guys feel? I guess
I don't know what they want him to do at this point. Set his ass on fire. Set himself on fire before he slammed dunk on some shit. Like, I don't know. Like,
I would like to see that.
He had some good dunks though, and he's still not winning. And everybody's like, "Who are these judges?"
Yeah.
So let's see people shout out a cannon on fire.
I think maybe that's what he has to do to win. Well, basically what he said was, no, I feel like he should have just won. Like,
no, but do you agree with him now saying like, I'm not gonna do it?
He's like,
fuck it.
Because at this point, it's like, why am I doing this?
I don't think he should do it.
I'm
like, fuck it.
Giving you my best effort, trying to be creative, and he hasn't. 2 years in a row when he's supposed to have won, he hasn't won.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know if I want to participate anymore in this because Aaron Gordon. So he's like, I don't know if I'm participating in this anymore because I done gave my best, I done gave my all, and I'm still not winning. So it's more favoritism. And,
it is.
That's how it is. But that's how it is sometimes in sports. It be politics. Getting voted for certain things is all about politics.
Mm-hmm. And then, well, you know.
What else took place in Chicago?
Huh?
I said, what else took place in Chicago over the weekend?
I was like, needless to say, I agree with him. But moving along to my boy Neo. Neo, I see he had to come out and announce his divorce because Crystal, his wife, and Ryan Henry from Black Ink Crew Chicago, they were getting cozy. She was posting them like riding out and during All-Star Weekend, and I was like, they're probably just friends. But clearly he realized like, I'm looking stupid. I gotta announce that we're actually separated. We're getting a divorce.
He confirmed it because of that. Because prior to that, he got a new song out called "Turn the Wedding Ring to a Pinky Ring" or something.
Oh yes.
And it came out. It came out right before All-Star Weekend, and then also you see that. So now it's like, yeah, let me just confirm.
The crazy thing, I know what you're talking about. The song came out, and now I know what Mac is talking about. But the song was overshadowed for me by the brimless hat that he had on in the video. So I was just more focused on him dancing with a fitted cap with no brim. Like, I just didn't understand what a brim was. But that was actually the whole topic of the post, was the lyrics of the song. You're right. I was just focused on where's the brim of the hat. He turned around and everything. I was like, is this a yarmulke? I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was happening.
Do you think by him putting out that song, she felt like, okay, so I can entertain other people now since you done made it known you turned the wedding ring to a pinky ring? It could have been just a song. You know, to the average Joe would have thought maybe it's just a song, but she knew it was deeper than that, and that's why she decided to hang out already. Well, and do you think it was too soon for her to already be out kind of on a date somewhat?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Personally, I feel like she probably was already hanging out with somebody, Ryan or whoever it was. But we don't know how long they've been separated. That's the only thing. Like, because now it's coming out, now we're hearing about it. We really don't know the background. So we don't know. They could have been separated for months, and now she's finally going on a date. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Ryan was like, come to Chicago, it's my hometown. I'm going to show you a good time. Or whatever the case may be. But I personally probably wouldn't have done... I mean, I think that's just me. Like, I even did that in my own situation. Just when you know you have kids and people looking at you like, oh, you got kids and whatever.
I'm never. I mean, I really don't post anybody anyway. You lucky you get on my gram, but tell you people be mad like, oh, we out and I'm taking pictures. It's like, why you ain't posting me smiling? Nah, I'm good. But I think it was too soon, just in general. Regardless, like for me, you have kids and you're like nobody knows y'all situation, what's going on. You just inviting a whole bunch of people to be in your business right now. Like, and if you didn't want that, then
so how long should you? Is there a time period that you should wait?
I personally just would wait when we really separate, like we legitimately are like not together no more. Like for me, now that I'm like super divorced and my kids actually know I'm divorced, they're like, oh, that's what you was in court for? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like now, if they see people around, it's okay. But you got some dude around and you posting, you hugged up with them and everything, and they don't know what's really going on because technically you're supposed to keep the kids out of all that stuff. So they don't really see what's going on, and then you got a whole other dude up in your face, and maybe by next week a whole other dude, you know. So I don't know. I just don't agree with it. But that's just.
So do you think maybe she got maybe in her feelings because she knew the backstory, like they were separated, and then a song was released about turning the marriage ring into a pinky ring or whatever, and that could have. Yeah. That could have been her way of getting back at him, like, oh, that's what you did, and you put that out there. So, even though we might not have known that they were, because I listened to the song, wouldn't have told me that they were being separated. It's just a song to me, but she knew the backstory, and now she felt like, oh, he went there and made a song about me. So when I go to Chicago, watch.
Oh, hell yeah, because I did some petty shit like that too. But again, people wouldn't really know. But I was posting up this kid for All Star New York around that time, like, you know, I'm like, okay, well, you want to be out there in the streets. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know who's seeing you. And he looked good. So how about that? But it was just stupid. Like, at the end of the day, you look bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about all of that. You know?
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
I just thought that it was probably done. I felt like on her, and it was kind of done out of emotion because I actually seen her on somebody else's page, and they were playing a song. It might have been Zell or somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like, they were playing a song, and she kind of looked like, really? Like, you know?
It was a Neo song or something?
They were playing that ring song. Yeah, and it was like, really? And then a couple days later, you see her posted up with the dude Ryan, so I was like, I think this is kind of based off of emotion.
It definitely was. I think it definitely was because I think women really, we react off of emotion. I always say that. I think men, they react stupidly, period. But women, when we do react, it's just off of emotion. Like we do things and we think about it later because we're trying to get under someone's skin or just whatever. But
y'all need to get an Apple Watch because guess what? It tells you when like your heart rate goes up, and they'll tell you take a minute. I just got mine on Thursday. Take a minute, breathe, focus on breathing. Bring your heart rate down. Probably tell him I'm sweating. Shit is high. But like that's what it tells you now. I just got mine on Thursday. I kind of like it.
I was saying I want to get one, but I was like, do I really need one? I got an iPad, MacBook. I got shit all over the place. But I didn't want to go too much further into anything without saying rest in peace to a few people, because not just Pop Smoke, but our girl Walona, aka, is it Janet or Janae Dubois? Janae Dubois, yes, and then Nikita Pearl Lingua, the little Disney star. She died. She had the brain cancer, but yeah, they passed away this weekend. It's like, so rest in peace to them. Our prayers are definitely with their families.
Absolutely.
But before we get too far away from sports, we have one more sports topic. And this person could have almost been on the same rest in peace list. It's Terrell Pryor. He had a situation with his 24-year-old girlfriend, Shayla, who stabbed him twice in the chest with a kitchen knife. And yeah.
As I laugh, I'm sorry. I don't even mean to laugh.
Her attempted murder charges got dropped. However, she still has a felony assault that's still in place, and he just has a misdemeanor. But he had lost like a lot of blood. I guess they got into an argument.
What does he have?
I guess they were trying to say they were arguing with something going on. He has a misdemeanor, but she definitely stabbed him. And this is back a couple months ago, like I think in November. But she stabbed him twice.
That's crazy.
And That's probably why I hadn't heard from him. Like I hadn't heard like anything about him playing or nothing. Yeah, but when does a relationship get that bad? Like, and clearly it's something that couldn't have been the first one. It's something.
No, that's not the first one. Unless something really crazy she found out. Like I don't see that's an escalation. Stabbing is an escalation from punching and
Remember what I told
choking.
you today my car situation? Like, you get like that.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
What's the last straw for a woman though? Like for you to get stabbed or shot, or even ran
I think
over.
everybody's different though. It's like I could ask you.
I feel like we don't really know their scenario or what was going on. Did she feel threatened?
It probably was already a toxic relationship. So
That's why I'm asking, what's the last straw? Like
I don't know.
Like
I explained before. All right, so I'm the only child on my mom's side, but on my dad's side, he has
slanging.
you still gotta
4
count.
kids. 3 of them are girls, right? So my youngest sister, I told y'all this before. My youngest sister, she did like about 10 years in jail. She stabbed. I did tell y'all this before. Thank you. I did. She went to jail for like 10 years. I tried to pay lawyer fees and all this stuff back in Jersey. She stabbed her boyfriend, who was already hitting her, and then one time, and she's a fighter too. Like she can fight, but he's a guy. So at one point they was in the kitchen, and he went to go hit her, and she was like, and she stabbed him one time, but she stabbed him in the major artery, and he died. And guess what? Oh yeah, he died. And guess what? And she had to go to jail for 10 years. I was trying to pay and all this stuff to help cut time, do whatever I had to do, and didn't work. Still had to serve the time. Her son had to go live with my dad, and she's been home now for a few years. But that reminded me of that situation because like I don't know what led up. Like I know a personal situation where he was fighting my sister and she didn't tell none of them. I'd have beat his ass. She ain't tell nobody. Like you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people do.
And that was a couple. She did 10 years and she's been out now probably about 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? So if I was in my 20s, I definitely would have beat his ass. But my dad would have too. Like my dad is that type of person too. Like my dad is my dad don't play about his kids. So then she was the youngest girl too. Like you just won't. But that's why I said with that situation you don't know how she was backed into like a wall where right. So and that's what happened to her. And he was beating her and the boy's parents. They knew that he was already doing that to her, but she just knew that's why they didn't feel like no way because they was aware of it, but just our side wasn't aware of it. So and she finally stabbed him one time too. But shit, you go to the right place, it's over. That's what we was trying to. That's in court. We were trying to say self-defense, but they were just like no, because like it's different rules in certain states. For something like in Jersey, it's not the same. Like, but certain places, if you go somewhere, like it's you know what I mean. Because if somebody's coming towards you, just like you shoot somebody, they're coming towards you. You would think, okay, but shit, it's certain places, it's different things.
First degree murder?
I can't remember first degree, but I know she did 10 years.
But there's like 3. He died?
Yeah, he died.
But it's like 3. It's like 3 levels.
He died. Yeah.
Criminal litigation that manslaughter is its own thing. It's not even a 3rd-degree felony. It's manslaughter.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. They give it 10.
Then they got the 2nd degree. Then they got the 2nd degree.
Each state is different too.
Yeah, it is. And Jersey was one of those states where for some reason it was a little more harsh.
And I've heard stories of sometimes it's crazy because you don't really know. I'm gonna get to you right now. There's been stories I've heard where it might have been movies too though, where the guy had been beating the girl and then she can't take no more. Almost like that movie with J-Lo, like you can't take no more, and then you like I'm gonna get you when you sleep on me. Yeah, and they still get in trouble. That's messed up. But I know you wanted to say something.
What me was you talking back to that nigga always
You shake your head. Shut up, Jermaine. Stop it. Go ahead, Anthony.
They was in the middle of a fight. Like it wasn't like I'll wait till they were in the middle of it and shit. Yeah, so it was like a reaction almost. Like
I'm pretty sure he hit her first.
no, he whooping her ass obviously. So she picked up a knife and juked to back him off of her.
I know Butler was trying to say something.
Go ahead, Butler.
I mean, y'all call my whole government. But anyway.
We ain't say the whole last name.
She said the first name and the last name.
Oh.
Well, they didn't know how I was talking about you.
So in the midst of in that type of situation, like what would you require, like a reaction? What type of action or reaction would you think is sufficing enough for that type of situation?
What type of reaction?
If you're getting beat, if you're getting
what
beat,
you just said, if you know, because you say you went through a lot with it. You know what I mean? You say you had.
I was trying to get court-wise. Yeah, I was trying to like
so
get her at least amount of time.
You could tell somebody in the future what type of reaction they should.
It depends on the state though. Each state is different too, so it's not everybody not going to try the same exact way either. So it depends on where it happens. You know what I'm saying? And there was history of him putting his hands on her because she had caught a cop before, but it still didn't fucking matter. Right, it still didn't matter. Like she still got charged. So there was reports before May, but he was there and it happened and he ended up dying. So, and the crazy thing about it was I just felt like his parents, I felt like they should have been probably a little more upset, but they were upset. You know, they were hurt, but they knew what their child was doing to her too. So. Shit, at a certain point, I guess you feel like it's either gonna be me or you at a certain point, like, or if you're trying to back somebody off you, I don't know. But
the only reason I asked that question is because I've seen my mama go through years of domestic violence and she never reacted like that. So I was just asking, what would take you to that point? Like, I don't know.
I feel like what took her to that point was she felt like at that point it was either me or you. Like you're gonna kill me, or I have to back you up off me, or something. Like you feel like you're not gonna make it out of that situation at a point, so you have to do something to get somebody off of you. I feel like that's when you have to go to that point where I gotta get you back up. I gotta back you up off me like real quick. And to juke somebody real quick, you're not thinking you're doing much, but you don't know what you're jugging. You know what I'm saying?
And think about it. It takes a lot. It takes a lot
to actually puncture someone hard enough with enough pressure to get through their skin and their bones to do that. If nothing was happening, like she had to be enraged or going through whatever. Like you said, adrenaline had to be rushed. You know, things like that.
And what a lot of you men don't understand is like when it's just me and another man in the building. You know what I'm saying? And we're going at it. Who's gonna stop the fight? You know what I'm saying?
That's
so at the end of the day, it's like, do I keep on beating your ass or whatever to make you keep beating me? You know what I'm saying? Or do I just act like whatever you win? You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where she's like, man, you know what? This shit's gonna get intense. Where this nigga's really about to kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you play easy,
already was intense. And
yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying? But you know, after I'm going through this this not the first time. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you play that role like, oh, okay, you let a nigga hit you, but you don't hit him back. But now you tired. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to go
She was the type that was going to hit him back. However, he's a man still at the end of the day, and he's going to overpower her. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, yeah, you keep doing that. You keep trying to hit this guy back, and all it's going to do is make him more and more mad.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, now it's like, you got to remember, it's still a guy, and you're not going to win. And you have a dad that didn't live too far from you that you could have called, but you chose not to because you don't want to put your friends and your family in your business because this has been going on. You know what I'm saying? So you try to deal with things on your own and keep it to yourself when that's when you suffering on your own by yourself because you can't tell nobody because you don't want nobody you know, you start telling your friends certain relationship business stuff, they're going to not like the person.
Yeah, exactly. Not like
because you keep hearing, so people try to keep people out of it, but I mean, it could have saved a life. Yeah. No, it shouldn't, but a lot of people are in those toxic relationships where
anyhow it gets to a point where a woman has to pull a knife on me.
You have to understand
You don't belong.
at one point where like
no, I agree with you.
You tell your family, but then you go back to the person, so now you're looking stupid, so you don't say nothing. When you say something is when you know you're not gonna deal with the person no more.
So
I got 3 brothers.
You should, but people sometimes will still go back.
Yeah, they still go back. So that's why
I
don't
got
worry about it.
But that's how
a lot of people go back.
in the wrong. Because if you're at the point where you're in a predicament that someone else has to make
what do you think that is? What do you think that is? What is because your sister? Let's talk about this for real though, because your sister had has not only you, but then a father that like don't play that shit.
And
we got people that don't play that. Like, but then versus let's take her and compare her to somebody like me. That ain't even gonna happen. Like, I'm not with somebody. If we even get to that point where I'm not even staying. So what would make somebody stay that we're in the same street? Because normally I always say these people ain't got no brothers. That's what I would have said. But to hear that your sister,
they don't want to tell because.
But no, what makes her even stay? Is what
because they be in a dumb, stupid bond with this person that they know they still gonna get back with this person, regardless of all the dumb shit this person did to them. They still like know that they're gonna fuck with that person. So if you get your brother and all this shit involved, now you know your brother and your dad gonna be on your fucking head about that person. So you don't even want to get them involved because you know the type of family you got. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just going to deal with it on my own. We'll work this out. And it's happened a few times where we've worked it out. And it's getting worse and worse, slower and slower, because you allow this to happen and he sees it. But the thing about it is, I know she ain't allowed to happen. I know y'all was having fights, but y'all fights are getting worse because she's an aggressive person too. And I just know the fights are getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to the point, it's like, bitch, at this point, I feel like it's gonna be me or you at a certain point. You know what I mean? Like, and to joke somebody one time was like, you really trying to back them off you? Yeah. Like, old girl with Terrell Pryor, she stabbed his ass twice. You know what I mean? She was like, bitch, like, yeah, to make sure he was off her. But like, to just joke somebody one time and then you just hit a bad spot. That's just like.
See, like, we're not gonna go like this. A girl gonna go like that.
On the other side, though.
Huh?
I said I've been on that predicament on the other side.
Wait, you been stab somebody?
No, someone tried to stab me.
Oh, so that's the same side. What the fuck you saying?
Wait, no, what I'm trying to say is a girl trying to stab me. And the fact that
what's her name? Rashida? I'm just playing. That's his ex. Go ahead.
I understand because it could be on the opposite. You know, when someone comes to stab you, even though you didn't do nothing wrong in your situation, when someone might really come and try to stab a dude, and like, how do you defend yourself as a guy? Some dudes might really just lay down and take the knife in their chest.
Oh no! I'm grabbing red something. You ain't with it.
Yeah, you can't just stab.
I ain't gotta hit you though, but you ain't even to get me.
Some dudes ain't that smooth. You know what I mean?
So what did you do?
I kept it moving.
You didn't? What did you grab? Like, how did you stop it?
Joker or something.
Huh?
I kicked somebody off of me.
You kicked them. Okay, all right.
Ooh.
Self-defense, guys. Self-defense. Not abuse.
No, I thought like they walked in on something was on you. I don't know.
He had to kick them. They were trying to stab him.
Yeah. Someone tried to stab me. I had to kick them off of me. And I had
get
to
out
run
of there.
out through the garage and slide under the door because they hit the garage door to close it.
Now I definitely know who it is.
Yo, they hit the garage door. They're like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." The door's closing. I'm running. I had to slide out there.
So you are abused woman. Just for
what movie was it?
Exactly. What
Yo,
movie
the movie is called My Life.
If you look at my life and see what I have.
That's some real shit.
How did y'all talk afterwards though? Were you able to like were y'all able to have a conversation?
They probably went on a picnic. They asked.
Nah, she been around that shit.
No, but I'm just saying, like, after all
I'm serious, they probably went on a fucking picnic.
No. It took a couple days to get through that one.
Couple days.
I had to bounce.
Couple days?
Yeah, like I had to leave and go sleep at my parents' house and shit.
For a couple days.
Yeah, but I didn't go back. And then
he thinks this is. Okay, time out. The reason why we're looking at you like this, and I'm so glad this is so old, and you can look at it and laugh now. But I'm glad he can look at it and laugh. But you see the realism on your face that you're looking like, what you mean a couple days? That's what we used to say. A day or two.
Days.
Like, what? Why even put this? Why even?
I am now.
But that used to be. Remember when me and Craig had that $1,000 bet? Yo, my ex-husband owed me $1,000.
Yeah, that was a reality. Yo, he said, he was like.
I knew. I said, we were out here vacation and some crazy shit happened again. So not that situation. Crazy shit happened, and I said, and he come to the hotel, and we were in Miami Beach. He's like, telling us what happened, and he's like, damn, yo, that's fucked up, man. So you done? He's like, I'm done. I said, he gonna be back with her tomorrow, man.
But see,
that's
be the flip side.
Exactly.
That's why sometimes you don't want to tell your family because they gonna judge
because
your
we
ass.
did judge, we did, and we didn't like her for it. You're right. But one thing about us, but we didn't treat her different though. That's the only thing. We didn't treat her different. We didn't treat her different because guess what?
Well, because
he's a guy. Hey, he allowed it. What the fuck I'm gonna do?
But see,
you know what I'm saying? It's a girl. It's different. But we bet. I said, I'm telling you. He said, nah. He had it. He's been through this, that. I said, he's going back. I said, I'll bet you $1,000. And he went back, and guess what? I don't have my $1,000. I think I might collect tonight. I might email his ass if I get drunk enough. Where my $1,000, nigga?
Remember that stack?
Run me that stack. It's tax time. I know you got it. You just I know you found that turbo tax. I'm just playing. But let's move on to something else. I wanted to actually, because I know we wanted to rush through things now that Uncle Luke is gone, but I wanted to ask you guys about this whole Boosie getting Boosie badass. Had some badass comments.
Boosie can't even go to Planet Fitness. They banned him from Planet Fitness too.
But why is he mad? Because talking about, because he gay, that's why he banned me. That's crazy.
At first he tried to say they were racist.
Well, he said
it's like pick one.
They racist and gay. I was like, yo, they just mad at you, man. But he had a lot to say. And I want to ask you guys about, I was going to say, I want to ask you guys about that, but I think what's even crazier, Jimbo, what up? I think what's crazier is his son. Now, how old is his son, Tootie Raw? Because Tootie Raw got a mouth on him.
That's his son's name?
Tootie Raw. 2 W's, bruh. 2 W's on Raw.
Sound like he about to cut it off too.
No. Tootie Raw. Tootie Raw is raw as hell. He's raw as
That's his
fuck.
son's name?
Yo, Tootie Raw, don't play that shit. Tootie Raw said, and I don't even want to quote it, but Tootie, I'm going to say it again. Tootie Raw, one more time for y'all asses, said, fuck Dwayne, right? He said that.
Say that if your name that.
He said that, and he said, and he got a girl, he got some girls that he know that'll do some shit. This is a young little boy. Yeah. That'll do some shit that'll turn his son, his gay son, back straight. That's what he said. I said, okay, I'm off of the whole transitioning thing. I mean, he's not transitioning, off of the transgender thing and what your father said. I'm on to, like, why do you think it's okay to talk like this, little boy?
First of all,
because that little boy is young looking. Like, he's definitely not more than 12, 13.
If your name Tootie Raw, you ain't got shit to say.
He's just trying to stand up for his dad, I think, at the end of the day.
But is that the way to do it?
That's definitely not the way at all.
Huh?
His daughter stood up for him.
I didn't see his daughter.
His whole family. Everybody's standing up for him because he's getting all this. Boosie got a lot of backlash for it. So I mean, his kids are they're going to stand up for him because they old enough to understand
that
what's
thinking
going
that
on.
Boosie's son is right in the way he stood up?
No, we're not saying he's right, but we just know that they're going to stand
I'm not
up.
listening to nobody last name Tootie Raw, and you got something to say about somebody who's fluid.
Exactly.
So, all right, but my question is, they're not like planning to do, because I was getting confused with this. They're not doing no sex change.
And that's what I was saying last week. I was like, he's not. He's just. And then who was we with that they were saying, well, what's the difference then? Well, what's the point of being transgender? They have to be doing that. And I was like, no. He's just identifying as a girl. Okay. That's it. But we don't know if he's gonna plan to do anything. I think that if he's doing those plans, he can't do that. He shouldn't do that until a certain age. But there are people that do it before they get their parents' permission and things like that. Like the little girl Jazz. Oh, she's a girl now. She was a boy. Jazz. She has a whole show, and we talked about her. And actually, it was Jared that we were talking about it with. We were talking about the show with Jazz. She got permission to have the surgery because she was so unhappy as a boy.
You talked about it on the show?
No. We talked about it after because he wasn't here for this topic and asked if we talked about it and he watched it. He was like, "What?" Y'all did talk about it, but what I was saying is that he brought up the girl Jazz and he was like, "I hope that they don't make a decision too early with that if he did because people change their minds all the time." And the little girl Jazz now is going through all kinds of psychological stuff right now on her show.
But Boosie badass.
Just go. Wait till you 18 or 21 or something. Make those decisions. But we can call you Zaya, whatever it is, for the meantime.
He said in the meantime.
Right. Like, for all the other stuff, you ain't got to make them drastic decisions.
I mean, just look at Nas X. Nas X, he was gay, and then he said now he wants to get with some singer or something, and now he's not gay anymore.
But I said that.
He's bisexual then.
But that's what I said.
Wait, do they really want to cut it off right now?
No, we don't know that.
No, I think people just started saying that. Like, I feel like they came out of nowhere.
Boosie brought that up.
Lil Boosie just said
First of all,
far left.
Boosie got a son named Tootie Raw. he can't bring that shit out. He needs to to pay attention to his son.
Okay, that's what it's funny that so Butler just made a comment. Now you got a son that calls himself Tootie Raw. You pay attention to that, right? Now somebody said before Tootie Raw came out with his comments a couple days ago, somebody had brought up, I guess, like Boosie's post with his son, and they had the Tootie Raw thing, and they were like,
"That was Tootie Raw?
Yeah,
leaning against a tree."
No, he was hugging him up, and they were like, "Yo, you need to worry about you and your son, and like, you know, your son relationship," because he was talking about. He said you worried about somebody else's child, and you talking about having bitches for your son to give him some head and doing this for his 12th birthday, whatever it was. It was like a young, like, and they were like, "What is wrong with you? Like, focus on yourself, right?" And then Tootie Raw came out with all his comments, and I was like, "Oh, he grown."
You know why? Because a long time ago, Lil Boosie introduced that foolishness to him as a young adult. I don't know how old Tootie Raw is now.
Every time he says that name.
I'm not going to say that name no more. But I don't know how old Lil Boosie's son is right now. But if you Google or look back in the day, he said something about that back then. So.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on to
let's finish up the last two because
Yes,
it's getting late. Talk about
let's go to Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
So Floyd Mayweather had spoken on the situation with him and Tiny and T.I. and everything. He just felt like your lady was acting out of line, you shouldn't step to the gentleman. You should say something to your lady then. He said the lady's supposed to be the trophy wife and she's supposed to be placed at her home.
Oh.
He did say that on the shelf. Keep her on the shelf. He did.
Do you agree?
I heard the audio. Yeah, so like basically, do y'all agree? Like, if your significant other is talking to somebody else, do you address your significant other? Or do you address the person that they're talking to? What do y'all think?
Check the whole.
Both.
You check the whole party.
Everybody.
The whole bad boy.
Everybody get it.
Everybody get it.
But of course, it starts at home.
If you marry.
I feel like if I don't know the person, I'm introduce myself, let your ass know who I am. And after that, and you keep that shit up, I'll beat your ass. But if we don't know each other and y'all was out somewhere, me and her gonna have some words. Like I can't argue with somebody. I can't argue with a dude who don't know nothing about me. Like, what I'm arguing with you about? She lied to you. Like, so I can't argue with you about a situation that you was blinded by. However, if you know of me,
you forget a key.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
You forget a key.
Never be a story if your wife don't engage.
Not even that. You forget a key proponent here. You're famous.
That's true.
T.I. and Tiny, they known as T.I. and Tiny.
They were going through a divorce at a certain point too. Remember that too. They were, and they were supposed to be splitting up, and it was during that time. However, they didn't split up. So
they didn't.
So let that counterpart.
It don't matter. Like, you know, I'm fucking with somebody. You know, it's a very public relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's a very public relationship. So I think that's why.
Won't do a public divorce.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Get some public meat.
Here's the question though: who approached who?
Well, we don't know all of that.
That's the main point.
Yeah, we definitely don't know all of that. But I mean, so we.
But I don't feel like it matters. Like who approached who. If you felt like somebody was going through a divorce, if he approached her, like, you know what I'm saying, and she clearly was invited.
Yeah.
Right. So
And in his eyes, he felt like, okay, well, they're going through a divorce, and I got my eye on her, so.
What is a separation?
I don't know where that came from either, because that's odd.
They was going through a divorce.
No, I'm talking about like the whole Floyd seeing Tiny and like thinking like
I don't know where that came from either.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Money will bring your ass back together.
That's true.
Yeah, but we're just trying to figure out like
how he was attracted to her. I was thinking like, what's
let's be nice.
No, I'm trying to figure it out. No, I'm trying to. No, I'm being serious. Like, no, I'm being that serious. I'm not even trying to play. I'm being serious. Like that, she don't look like his type. I ain't everybody cup of tea.
She might be fun. Like,
she the fun
he
time
might be
girl.
attracted to personality. Like, yeah, that's what I like.
I see some of his girls. He ain't attracted to that person. No, Floyd.
She seen Floyd?
Yeah, I seen Floyd's girls. He's not attracted to personality. I said.
Floyd?
Yeah, but I say he's not attracted to personality. I seen, and I heard about his bank account too. Yeah.
For that money, he'll look like
Exactly, but we're talking about right now.
For that money, he'll look like that nigga under the Biscayne.
He look like the frog. Yeah, I know. I agree.
Stop, man.
Money don't save you in Miami.
Listen,
This Miami.
you gotta be able to speak freely, bro.
No, you're right.
I gotta be able to speak my truth. You know. But the opinions and thoughts of the co-hosts and audience are not those of Brian D. McKinney. Clearly.
Floyd, you look like my uncle. After you,
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
All right, so for our last topic, because we have definitely
Going
extended
over,
our
guys.
stay.
But we appreciate y'all.
But
for
thank y'all
staying.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for that one clap.
Yeah, y'all ain't shit.
So,
Exactly. No. What's the last topic? You got one more.
yeah, just one more topic. So, DJ Drama is allegedly holding up to his name. His side chick is now claiming that she was set up by him and was assaulted by his girlfriend. I watched these videos, right? And the side chick did say, well, the side chick was posting videos like, oh, this is my baby, da da da. And she put him on there, and he seen it, and he looked, I don't know if he looked happy or not, but he looked, but he was aware of it. It wasn't like he was asleep, he was up, and he looked. And then the girlfriend, I don't know where she was at, I don't know if they broke up. Because, sometimes people say, we separated, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, a break.
Right, we had a break, yeah. And I was entertaining her during the break, during our weekend break. It might have been weekend, but it was our break. We went in. So,
like Larry break.
She come back. Now they end up FaceTiming each other. And what I will say with the y'all be throwing Larry in the mud. So what I will say is with their breakup is what I will say is at a certain point, Drama's girlfriend and the side chick, I guess, they were on FaceTime or whatever it was, and they were having a conversation going back and forth. She was like, well, when you was here, she wanted the dates, this and the other. She's like, listen, if I knew he had a girlfriend, I would have never even slept with him. Like,
I don't believe it.
She said it, but she said it on the thing though. Like,
I don't believe it.
well, that's what was said in the conversation. So she just felt like, if I didn't understand the other, I wouldn't have did that. So she's like, yeah, whatever. So then later on, you scroll again in the text messages, he asking the side girl to come by. He does to her, never mind, don't come. She hits back, I'm already on my way. So then he says, well, how far? And then she must get there, and then the girlfriend's there, and you never know if Drama picked up the phone and said, don't come, and the girlfriend picked up the phone back and said, well, you don't know the situation, because to me reading that feels like girlfriend might have picked up the phone first and be like, well, where you at, and figured out who you know what I mean, and he like, don't come, because he wrote back, don't come.
What's the bottom line?
And she like, I'm on the way already, and then it was like, that person said, well, how far are you? And then next thing there was a fight on Instagram, and the side chick lost. What is the odds like the side chick losing? Like, what if she could fight? But she lost. Apparently she lost. Well, she had the black eye and all that other stuff.
See, now I had to do a quick. I wasn't just on my phone because I was bored, guys. Not at all. I was on my phone doing a quick scan of his page because one thing about just kind of like what we were talking about with T.I. and Tiny, with them they were more public marriage, but with people like DJ Drama, they're a public figure. It's very easy to find anything out. So I did a quick scan of his page. I just saw some kids. I didn't get down to like the middle yet because we were talking. I clicked on the kids' pictures. They're older, so they're like 18, so they look like a young lady that he might have been dating. But I was like, oh, okay, it's just his kids. It's just his kids. But it's very easy. If I had another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I could have found out if he had a girl for real. Like, so that's what a girl would do. And let me tell you, a girl is a PI on the low. Every girl has a side job as a PI, okay? And they good at it. And if they ain't good at it, their home girl is good at it, okay? And we know we can figure it out. I can figure out something about somebody. I can find. You can tell me you're not on Instagram. I can find all kind of stuff about you anyway.
I hate that.
All kind of stuff.
I ain't gonna lie. I got that one friend who I can call. I got 2 friends I can call and be like, this person, and they'll be like, tell me their name and tell me da-da-da. Exactly. And they're gonna give me all the information back I need.
They need a hot dog stand or something.
A hot dog stand up.
Something. Like they got too much to do. I mean, outside the courthouse, they got hot something.
Stop. But no, I'm saying my whole point for bringing that up though is that no, because it's very easy. That's my whole point. It's very, very easy. Even if you very tedious. No, it's very easy. Honestly, like I said, all I needed was 10, 15 minutes maybe. I don't have to like dead serious. Somebody told me they didn't have an Instagram. Okay, great. Go on your Go on your friends' Instagrams, because I found them real quick. Talk about these people, found them. Now I go on to the people that they follow. Saw that there is a name that's something similar to that. Guess what?
Wait.
They were posting all kind of white.
What people have to learn to do, I'm going to put y'all on real quick. What people got to learn to do is, you ain't got to go through all that. Go to their tag
pictures.
Tag pictures.
But remember,
and
they didn't have a page, so I didn't have no.
Oh,
yeah. This
I'm going to say, when you get somebody's page, you go to their tag pictures. And you see everybody who they affiliate with in the tag pictures.
Me and Grace was on the phone one day and she said something about some guy that we had met, but it wasn't for me, it was for her, right? We met somebody. And I said, oh, what? Huh? They this and that? She said something and I said, girl, I'm on his tag pictures already. Let's go on there. She said, how you do that? I said, look to the far right. And it said, but at the end of the day, my whole point is that it's very easy. That the person that I was talking about said they didn't have no social media. They said they didn't have no social media. I was like, lies. And I was right, they were lying. But, I found out everything. And it wasn't like, it wasn't anything to, they weren't married, but they had somebody and I was like, I'm never talking to you again, bro. Like, it's not going to happen. But I just think it's very easy to find out, especially in this day and age. When people say they don't have a social media account, they're lying because they have Facebook. They have something. They may not be on Instagram. That's fine. But they may be on Facebook or their business might be on LinkedIn. I don't say their business is on LinkedIn and then you guys see who's linking them and who's related and all kind of stuff. Like, it's very easy. I'm telling you, it's so easy. But I say all that to say it's super easy in this day and age to find out things. So when people say that they didn't know and if I had known, you're a liar. You're a liar.
These 6 degrees of separation got a lot smaller with Instagram. It is.
Actually, I've been saying
it's a degree.
Half a degree.
Because some of the people don't be knowing each other. They be finding each other still. Like, you like.
I'm just saying, it sounds like
mutual followers. They know each other.
Yeah. No, I see that too.
They don't be knowing each other either.
That's crazy.
We didn't get a chance to spin the wheel tonight, but we'll do it next week.
We'll do it next week.
And have somebody twerking for Jesus. But I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. In my best Russell Simmons voice, God bless and good night.
I want to thank Jamila for coming through. I know you're busy. You have a conference. You have a conference in the morning. She's probably so tired. She got here this morning. No, but thank you for coming. We love you.
Boy got stuff to do.
Yes. But still came through. All right. But thanks. Yeah, I know, but still came through. They had stuff to do, but still came through.
We gotta put
we gonna end that. We gonna put end that.
We should have told Luke.
Listen, I was trying to ask Uncle Luke what you see, what God's telling you. Drop it. L. Blaze. Shout out to DJ L. Blaze for coming through and blessing us.
Rest in peace,
I love you. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah.
My song.
Welcome to the party.
My song right here.
That's why I'm retarded.